Hey guys, welcome to another video here with Queen City Reefs and more. Today we're doing another unboxing. Oh, hey, so we're back. Today is going to be an unboxing of a reactor that I have purchased for this 310 gallon right behind me. I did want to mention though that now that I look at this a second time, a third time probably, I'm thinking maybe I went too big. I was going by the ratings of gallons that it said on the online, and it said from 250 to 500 gallons. I did though purchase it used from a member of my local club, and so I didn't actually have to pay the amount. I think I paid less than half. Can't remember because I've been actually having it for quite some time, and I figured it's time now to take it out and use it. But before we do that, as always, we want to do an unboxing, talk a little bit about it, talk about what my plans are with it. Those plans probably have changed from when I first purchased it, but we'll talk about that. Let me just go get the box and we'll get started. This, guys, is a Lifegard Aquatics turbo reactor, an extra large size. And so the way that it's rated here, let me tell you, so for 250 gallons to 850 gallons. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase this because most likely I'll need a lot of media, so on and so forth. I purchased it, I'm fine with it. I'm hoping it fits where I'm thinking it's gonna go. I do have a large sump, so that's the plus side. But now I'm thinking maybe I didn't need so big, especially after seeing that Two Little Fishies came out with the mini reactor, which of course I would not use on here, but they made a great point that you don't need a lot of media for fish tanks. There's nothing much to it. There's two filter foam pads. I can tell you that I like to save boxes. I don't know about you, but I save boxes for the same purpose. If I ever want to sell an item or give an item away or whatever the case is, I at least can do so with the box and everything. Now, look at this beast. I mean, it is the size of my upper body. This is sitting on my lap. The dimension on this guy here, it is 19.45 inches tall. So, you know, about 1.75 feet. It is 6.85 inches wide, and the length of it is 9.05 inches. The thoughts initially were to do half carbon and half GFO, and so my thought initially was going to be to somehow create another contraption where, you know, I could divide this into two, and half of it would be for GFO, the other half would be for carbon. My thought was maybe, if I don't know if this holds enough in the middle with, you know, by having some weight on it, and possibly using this for carbon down the middle, and then that, because I know that the GFO has to tumble. But anyways, guys, so because of those high nutrients, at some point I wanted to use GFO here, and I had been having a hard time growing Chaeto, or is it Cato? Chaeto, Cato, tomato, you tell me. So because of that, I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll go with the GFO and try to lower my phosphates that way. But then the fish thing happened. I removed all the fish, and there's not a lot of nutrients in the tank. And from previous videos that I've shown you, you can see that a lot of corals have paled out. They're alive, but they're just pale. So I'm looking forward to the day that I can add fish again. I have a shipment coming in actually not too long from now from drquarantinefish.com. I picked out some fish. He then quarantines them for 46 weeks, and then he sends them out. So I did hear from him last week that I should be getting the invoice this week. Another good thing, and I know I'm getting sidetracked here, but a good thing one thing I've liked about drquarantinefish.com is that you get to submit your order of fish that you want, and he will actually take them through the quarantine process and everything, and won't bill you at that moment. He will bill you at the end of quarantine when the fish are getting ready to ship. So that's what I'm waiting for, is the invoice. He let me know that the quarantine period is over and that he would be sending me the invoice this week so that he can ship them out this week. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing how this fish look. Stay tuned for my next video. Most likely will be about the fish coming in. We'll see what they look like, what I ended up getting, and so if you don't want to miss that and you're not subscribed yet, guys, please subscribe, and you know, truly appreciate it. So anyways, so back to this. So forgot where I left off on that other story. Oh yeah. So then I ended up getting some Chaeto from a local club member as well, and filled up the refugium. Ended up connecting the grow light that you saw in one of my previous videos, and it's actually been doing great. It's been doing really good with that grow light. But I do have other things in there, and I'm thinking they're sponges. I haven't really inspected it. I'm going to do that now that I have to, you know, put my hands in there and move some things around so I can get this to fit. I've been able to grow Chaeto so far, and I'm assuming that once the fish are in there, we'll even grow faster and better because there'll be a lot more nutrients in there. And as of right now, I've been having to add Chaeto Grow just to try to give it nutrients that way. Because of that, I don't know if I'm gonna need this. Now, I do plan on stocking the tank with a lot of fish at some point, so maybe then the Chaeto won't be enough and I'll need some other, like, you know, source of GFO or something like that, and I will have this. But as of right now, I just feel it's too big. I mean, we'll use it as is. Now, one thing that attracted me to this reactor here is this pump. I don't like the idea. I mean, I've done it because I've had to, but I've never liked the idea of having a reactor that I have to connect a separate pump to. So you have those hose connectors that come out of here, and one is where you plug in your pump and the other one's an outlet for the water to come out. And I just felt like just those need more room, I guess, maybe. Now, you might ask yourself, if you remember one of my very first videos when putting this tank together, I did put 2 outlets so that I could connect reactors like this, but I have yet to use them. So if I would have done it again, I probably wouldn't have spent the money on that, because I like these reactors that have its own pump right under it like this, and takes up minimal room. And let's get it installed. Now, if you remember on my last video when I did the installation of this grow light, I mentioned that it did not actually fit on this deal here. So I ended up having to connect it to that thing. But one thing I can say about this light that, to me, is a big negative, at least on my side, is that this gooseneck is not strong enough to hold this light up. As you can see, I tried to put it that way so that I can have it hold it that way, and it moves right back down. I've had this Chaeto for about a month or 2 now, and you can see some stuff growing on it. I'm not sure what that is. There's a lot of Aptasia in here too. I don't know if you've caught my last video where I showed you all the Aptasia growing on the peninsula. Well, there's a lot of Aptasia growing here. I can tell you that one of the quarantine fish that's coming in, or 2 of them, are copper band butterflies. I'll spoil that surprise there. One for each tank, hoping that they'll eat some Aptasia. I have a foul fish that I'll also tell you what happened in the last video if you didn't catch that. That the a-hole is not eating any Aptasia. It's supposed to come from biota. They're supposed to have been not trained, but been fed Aptasia, so they know what it is, they know its food source, and yet has not touched one single Aptasia that I've seen. You know what, actually I should make sure to test this, see if it fits before I start adding any media to it, right? Let me do that. I'm going to add the carbon to this, and I am going to then rinse it out by putting it in a bucket that has our ODI water, and then I'm planning on putting it on the tank. So let me work on dry testing this. And as you can see, it does. I'm thinking that I probably want this over here instead. All right, so looks like it'll fit perfectly next to the skimmer. I'll see if that's where I like it, but for now I'm going to go get a bucket so we can put it in the bucket. Guys, I don't really know if y'all want to really go through this whole mess. Once I'm ready to fill it up and do all that, I'll bring y'all back. All right guys, we are here at the kitchen now. The benefit, I guess, of having one of those that has the tubing coming out of here is that when you rinse it, you can actually place the pump in here and the outlet to wherever you're going to rinse it out from. Here, it's going to recirculate within the same media, and then what's the point, right? So to open this is like any other reactor almost, where it has these plastic screws that you have to take apart. The more stuff you have, especially when it comes to items like these, the more you have to clean, right? And that's one thing that I've been kind of contemplating too, having to clean more stuff. It just, oh man, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a lazy reefer when it comes to that. That's why in a way I feel like the bags put in a high flow area work a lot better maybe for me. The media that I'm gonna use is carbon. I don't know if y'all remember, I don't know how many of y'all shop at Bulk Resupply, but had a huge 50% off sale, and I took advantage and bought it in bulk from Bulk Resupply. And so we'll be using this, which if you know anything about this type of carbon, it is very, very dusty. Alright guys, so the battery, actually the camera overheated and turned off, but anyways, I went ahead and plugged it up in here to the outlets that I have back there. I left it on the low setting because I don't want to worry about that media and the pad coming up and then releasing a bunch of that carbon. So I could tell you, if I mean, I like it for what it is. I like that it has a pump in there. I don't have to put another one, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I went too big on this. That's number one. Number two, I can already see that I'm gonna have a hard time cleaning this, having to take this whole unit out. That's why I like the Nios reactors, because you can actually, you know, twist it off and put a new one on and then worry about cleaning that one at the sink and not having to take the whole, like, I feel like it's just perfect for that, right? Anyways, so this one, I'd had to take the whole deal out and then empty that out, put new one in, but I am thinking of doing something different when I refill it the next time. And that different will be that I'm still going to use the filter media bags, put the carbon in there, and then toss it in here with the pad down, the foam down, so that it, you know, it goes, you know, we use this reactor for the carbon with a filter bag inside of it. Now that begs to ask the question, what is the purpose of this, especially this one, if I cannot have the flow very high, I have to have the flow very low? And I mean, then again, I mean, essentially it serves the same function as putting it in one of your filter cups that you saw in one of my last videos that I installed, or I can put it somewhere right here where there's more flow, or next to the return pump. Like, what is the purpose of this if I feel like the flow that's going through this is the same flow that would be going through one of those filter cups, right? It's not like it's catching all the water, right? There's water going through that side over there through, you know, bypassing this reactor. So it would be the same thing as putting it in one of those filter cups where it would bypass the water there too, and you know, it would only do what it's supposed to do with whatever water comes in contact, which essentially after so many times of passing by, it does what it's supposed to do, right? I've noticed a difference with clarity of water and all that. I don't understand the point of this if it essentially does the same thing. At some point, I guess I bought the hype when you would see, like, you know, BRS on BRS TV say that these are way better because you can make sure that water passes through all of it. And maybe that's what I'm missing, is that maybe here I'm confirming that it's passing through the whole deal, through all of the carbon, making sure it uses every single granule in there, versus in a filter bag, I'm assuming it doesn't, maybe because of, you know, maybe because of that. And I'm gonna go ahead and leave this rant, or whatever you wanna call it, because I'm here trying to, you know, think on this process here, and y'all can help me along and let me know what y'all's thoughts are on this. But I'm thinking that's what it is. It's just the fact that with it being in a filter sock, tied up in a bag, maybe being that the water has everywhere else to go, it doesn't force itself to maybe all of the carbon, you know, especially that one that's tied in the middle of it, and it just bypasses that. And the purpose of this is that it actually goes through all of it, because, you know, the water pushes through. Then that means that it uses every single bit of it, and I can leave this media here for its whole lifespan, which is supposed to be about a month or so. I don't know, some people say they change it every other week, every month. Tell me what y'all do. What do y'all do with y'all's carbon when you do add it? How long do you leave it for? It didn't say on the 5-gallon bucket, but I'm definitely going to look at that when I get off of this video here. and see how long I'm supposed to be able to leave it here. But I'm gonna mark it down on my calendar when I added this carbon, so that whenever I am getting ready to change it, I know at least how long it's been in here. As far as the light goes, I put that cup there so it would actually lift it up a lot more than what it is. It sucks that I have to do that though. I don't like that gooseneck. That is a negative of this light. The other option is going to be to hang it up from where I had the other light hung up, which was right above in the stand in this area right here. That would be right in the middle. I had the previous light hung up, and then the hook is still there, so I might just do that instead. But that is gonna do it for this video, guys. That was the Lifegard Aquatics turbo reactor. I'm neither content nor unhappy with it. I can see that it's gonna be a pain to clean it in the future, but as I told you, I'm gonna do those filter media bags and just dump it in there. But almost makes me feel that why did I even get it if I'm gonna do all that anyways, right? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you do run a carbon reactor. Which one do you use? How do you use it? How long do you leave the media in there for? Maybe get some ideas. What do you think I should do here? Leave it as is, clean it once a month, and just bite the bullet? I mean, it probably works a lot better, right? Aside from that, I really don't have anything else, guys. You know, I appreciate you watching. Those that are subscribed, thank you so much for continuing to follow my journey. Those that have not and are watching, please subscribe. Consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. There's a lot more content coming by.